Hello and welcome to Blytheway Business News. Today we're welcoming back old friends from Pantheon Resources. For those who don't know, Pantheon is listed on the AIM market in London, a market capitalisation of around £230 million sterling, has the ticker of PANR and is very, very active on an exciting project in Alaska. We're joined by Jay Cheetham and Bob Rosenthal. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It's been a busy time. Give us a quick update, though, on what's been happening on the Talitha project, please.
Whoa, Tim, lots has been happening. When we were talking to you before, we'd raised our 30 million, and I think in that interview, we signed the contract with the Nordic Calista rig. So we've moved the rig on location. We spudded the well last week, in fact, a week ago. We actually spudded about 15 days early. When we raised our funding back in November, we anticipated that we would be able to spud on an aggressive schedule at the end of January. And in fact, we spudded in the middle of January. Now that's very, very important in a drilling season when you're weather dependent and you're actually cold weather dependent. So if we spud in late January, the drilling season ends about the end of March, would give you about 60 days. So adding 15 days adds 25% to the number of days we have available to us, and that is huge.
So you're very pleased about spudding early.
Very pleased.
You're targeting, I think, something like 1 billion barrels in the well. Is that right? 1 billion?
Yes, we are targeting, we think, over 1 billion barrels recoverable. We think the well is going to take about 30 days plus or minus from where we are right now to TD, and we will go through our 4 targets from top to bottom: the shelf margin, the slope fan, the basin floor fan, which is basically our Theta West play, and the Kaparic. And Bob can talk more about those targets.
Okay. So look, this is potentially enormous. Spudding the Talitha well. I've got 3 questions, really. It is enormous, and you're both oil men. What does spudding mean for Pantheon? And what does it mean for you two as individuals in the industry? Let's start with the Pantheon answer, please.
Well, for Pantheon, as Jay's alluded to, we've got multiple targets, billion barrel potential. Any one of those targets come in, and we've, substantially changed the nature of the company. I mean, it's just it's just huge. We're each one of the reservoirs, each one of the traps that we're looking at are, giant field potential. So one of those coming in is, really, really substantially changes the company.
Bob, I'm guessing, I'm not going to be rude, but you're not at the start of your career. What does this mean for you?
Well, for me personally, I've been in this project for over 10 years. I started my career working the North Slope of Alaska, and well, this is the last project I'm going to be working on, and it's it's incredible. It's been a journey. I mean, it's a 40-year journey, but the last 10, to get this project where it is today, and so it's a culmination of a lifetime of being in the industry.
Culmination of a lifetime. Jay, same view?
Well, it's hard to top that, but what I'll just say is, I joined Atlantic Richfield Company in 1969 because of the Prudhoe Bay discovery on the North Slope. And what couldn't be a more fitting way, because this is the end of my career as well, than to spud a well of this magnitude, truly targeting over 1 billion barrels recoverable at the end of your career. What could be better than that? I mean, seriously, what could there, in terms of the industry? It's hard to imagine.
Well, I'm sure we're all very hopeful it comes good. And the culmination of careers and a lifetime in the industry. But as the saying goes, the drill bit doesn't lie. And so I've got to ask you the question, what if in a few weeks' time we find that actually it's unsuccessful. What you hope to be there isn't there. Does that kill the entire Alaska play, or what would that mean for Pantheon?
Well, I think we lose sight of the fact that we've already got a substantial discovery sitting underneath the pipeline and the haul road. Alkaid is, from our independent experts report, 76 million. We think that's a 100 million barrel discovery. That's an enormous discovery onshore in and of by itself. Probably we're back to $50 oil, which probably puts us like an NPV of $500 million again, and we have 100% of it. We're a small company. This is an enormous discovery sitting there. Plus, we've we'll talk more about the lease sale, I know, but we've got Theta West, we've got Leonis. So the idea that that this is it is just completely, misses the mark. We have, like I say, a giant discovery already in Alkaid.
So not a one-trick pony by any stretch. Okay. You've also been participating in the lease sale process. Quick update on that, please.
Yeah, Tim, we got a little over 66,000 acres in the last lease sale. We added a little bit to our Talitha complex, both west and east, but also, and Bob can talk about this, we added substantial acreage to our Theta West play. Now, Theta West is keyed off the Pipeline State well also, which is 4 miles from the Talitha A well, and extends all the way to the northwest in the acreage block that we picked up. It is quite large, and I'll turn it over to Bob to talk about the potential there and what we see.
Well, the potential is it's enormous, and clearly that was the focus of our lease sale. It's, as Jay alluded to, we picked up some more acreage that is associated with the shelf margin deltaic and the caparic that we're testing already in the well. But the majority of the acreage is associated with this Theta West play, which could be as big or bigger than Talitha on its own. And it's just we're really very excited by it.
Let's now have a quick look at your acquisition of Otto's 10.8%. What was the rationale behind that?
Well, Tim, we've been in discussions with Ottos since last July regarding their interest. They're focused on the Gulf of Mexico. We're focused on the North Slope of Alaska. And in the end, it just made sense for both of us to focus where we each have our major interests. So we've exchanged 14.27 million shares for their 10.8% working interest. They had an option to participate or not participate in the well, standard kind of procedure. We always assumed that we may have to pay that 100%. That was what we had focused on. And it just made sense for both of us to be able to go back to our core. And we focus on Alaska, they focus on the Gulf of Mexico, and now they have an interest in our wider acreage portfolio.
But strategically, both companies have focused on their core areas of operations.
That's correct, Tim.
So look, it's not as if you've not been busy. You've been very, very busy, but we always like to be a bit forward-looking. So can you give viewers a sense of what can we expect in the next few months? What more can we expect from you?
Well, obviously the big news is what happens with the 4 zones that we're going to penetrate in the Talitha A well. We have the down dip shelf margin deltaics, updates on the acreage we acquired in the lease sale. Bob can talk a little more about those. But I mean, there's huge amount of work still going on, especially in Bob's group.
Bob, what would you like to add in that case?
Well, I think I'd like to just point out just a couple of things. One is where we are today and the well in which we're drilling. All our acreage now is unitized. In other words, so we have 66,000 acres with that are in the unit, which gives us clear understanding of title on that that huge block of acreage. We've got 66,000 new acres that are 10-year leases, and in there is, as we've identified, are these huge plays. I mean, they're world class. Each one of them, the shelf margin deltaic with the slope, which we call the super trap, the Theta West, and the Kaparic. These are all world class plays, and the information we're going to be accumulating from the well is going to affect all that acreage. And it's just, this is a fantastic place to be right now.
Well, Bob, Jay, thank you very much for joining us. That was Jay Cheetham and Bob Rosenthal from Pantheon Resources, who said at the start of the show, market capitalization of £230 million. This is a substantial business, updating us on their very exciting plans and activities up there on the North Slope in Alaska. And I'm sure we'll be back to update you with further news on the spudding of the Talitha well. That's it from Blythe Way for Business News today. Thanks for watching.